Tonight, NBC5 investigates what can be done to prevent devastating wrong-way crashes.
Last night, we revealed wrong-way drivers have killed 51 people and injured 700 more just on North Texas roads over the last 4 years. And tonight, senior investigative reporter Scott Friedman asks why more Texas freeways are not getting safety changes used in other states to prevent wrong-way crashes. Scott?
Meredith and Brian, we've set up a little demonstration here to show you the kind of safety changes we're talking about. We've got two signs mounted on a post behind me. The one at the top is the standard height you see on most Texas roads. The other one is just a couple of feet off the ground. Now watch what happens when we get in the car and we start to roll forward. What you're going to notice is that at night, the headlights on the car illuminate the lower sign much better than they do the one at the top, making it easier to see at night. For years, safety experts in Texas have talked about changes like this, but it's really been more talk than action. In the dark of night, a car speeding down the road in the wrong direction.
Damn, we're going the wrong way.
Frightening moments captured on cell phone video on Dallas's Hunt Hill Bridge. This video from the Dallas North Tollway shows a wrong-way driver cruising up an exit ramp. Realizing the mistake, the driver turns around just in time, but often this ends in disaster.
There's a wrong-way driver.
Texas leads the nation in wrong-way crashes. NBC5 Investigates has learned there have been almost 3,500 in just 4 years, most caused by drunk drivers who blow past warning signs and then slam head-on into other vehicles. How much time did you have to react?
Less than 10 seconds, because to this day, I still don't know how I got away.
St. Clair Williams survived a wrong-way crash with a drunk driver who sideswiped his car and then hit a semi on I-20 in Arlington.
All the firemen and the police were saying, you need to walk with us. You got angels around you.
The National Transportation Safety Board studied that crash as part of a nationwide report on stopping wrong-way drivers. Deborah Hersman led the NTSB at the time.
So anything that we can do to redirect people to go the right way instead of entering a high-speed interstate going the wrong way will save lives and prevent injuries.
The NTSB report is one of many in recent years suggesting changes to freeway ramps, better pavement markings, red reflectors, bright red signposts, and warning signs mounted closer to the ground. In fact, as long as 10 years ago, researchers at the Texas Transportation Institute suggested Texas should consider the use of lower do not enter in wrong way signs to address alcohol and nighttime problem locations.
They're not looking 7 or 8 feet in the air.
NBC5 law enforcement expert Don Peritz says the lower signs may even get the attention of drunk drivers who tend to look down, worried about staying in their lane.
They'll drive with their head down, looking at the speedometer instead of up on the roadway where they should be.
California has used lower signs since the 1970s. Today, they're standard on freeway exit ramps. When California first lowered the signs, they set up an experiment at problem ramps using cameras. What they found was stunning. The lower signs eliminated wrong-way entries to the road at a majority of those ramps. But in Texas, hardly any highways have lowered signs. The only place you'll see them in North Texas is on some tollway ramps. NTTA installed them as part of a test project that already seems to be working. You think what you've done so far has saved lives?
I would believe so, yes, sir. I would agree with that statement.
Using road sensors and cameras, NTTA has monitored ramps with lower signs for 4 years. On the Dallas North Tollway, the number of wrong-way drivers on ramps with low signs has come down from 14 per year 3 years ago to just 5 last year.
It's been great. It has been really good that we've seen a reduction. We've seen this make a difference.
But TxDOT is still not convinced. In a statement, the agency in charge of Texas highways told us the bottom line here is there is not enough conclusive data to suggest that wrong-way driving signs should be lowered. TxDOT supports NTTA's research, but wants more time to make sure lowered signs won't pose any added danger to drivers if they crash into them.
I think, the average person saying, well, wait a minute, you had to have a 10-year debate over whether you could lower a sign down to 3 feet.
Former U.S. Department of Transportation Administrator Brigham McCown says states and the feds need to move more aggressively from studies to making changes. The federal government actually approved 3-foot sign poles almost 6 years ago, but TxDOT is still studying the issue. They believe a 2-foot pole may be a better height. Bottom line, is it taking too long to fix this?
It's taking too long, and you know, there will be another accident. It's not a matter of if, but when.
TxDOT refused multiple requests to be interviewed for this story. The agency's statement says safety is our top priority. We will always take new methods changes into consideration. And TxDOT is testing new technology in San Antonio, including flashing lights and radar to detect wrong-way drivers. But here in North Texas, most ramps still have standard signs. No flashing lights, no sensors, including this ramp on Business 287, where that wrong-way driver entered the road back in 2011, before nearly killing St. Clair Williams.
And nobody has done anything about it, which is very disappointing.
And with hundreds dead, thousands injured in wrong-way crashes in Texas alone, safety advocates agree talk of change needs to turn to action.
Now we have some of those best practices. The focus has got to be on implementation and aggressive adoption of some of those best practices to prevent these fatalities.
So installing things like road sensors would be expensive, but lowering signs is not very expensive. NTTA tells us dropping those signs down cost just about $200 or $300 per exit ramp. Brian and Meredith?
Scott, we have had a huge response to this story on social media. A lot of people are asking why they don't install wrong-way spike strips on the exit ramps like the ones you see at airport car rental places.
Yeah, you know, it's an interesting idea. It's one that safety experts have considered. They have a couple of problems with it for the most part, though. One is that emergency vehicles sometimes need to go the wrong way down a ramp to reach an accident scene, and so you wouldn't want the spikes taking out an ambulance set of tires. The other problem is if you can imagine a stick shift car sitting parked in traffic on one of those ramps, if it rolled backwards slightly, it would slash the tires on that car. So a great idea in concept, but there are still some problems to be worked out before they can deploy that on roads. Brian and Meredith?
Such an important story. Thank you, Scott.